Entrepreneur Samantha Binkley is living her best life and, despite the global pandemic, busier than ever. A certified health coach born in Jamaica and raised in the Bronx, Sam is founder of Healthy on You, a business she runs from her home, a 1-acre tropical paradise in Del Mar. It's here where she grows her organic herbs to make the 17 flavorful spices she sells in stores and online. Even her eggs are homegrown, thanks to a family of exotic chickens. The lively cooking classes Sam teaches from her spacious kitchen are legendary. For the past year, she's been teaching her quarantine cooking classes virtually.
Really excited about it. So that's what I have here. Can you see?
Beautiful.
And look at the thickness, right? It's not watery, okay?
The goal is to transform recipes into a healthier version, just as delicious.
Well, Sam, it is so good to see you. And I'm going to be signing up for your Healthy Shrimp Creole class that's coming up at the end of the month.
That's coming up, and I'm really excited about that class because Creole is kind of mysterious kind of thing, and I want to demystify it, teach you the basics of how to do a Creole meal, and then we'll use one of my spice blends, the House of the Rising Spice, to make it all come together. I think it's going to be a lot of fun with that class. And as you know, the proceeds for my classes this year all go to a social justice cause, a nonprofit. So that's benefiting the North Star Fund in February. So we're really excited about it.
I like that, a charitable component. How are the virtual classes going for you? I mean, I love going to your home and enjoying your classes. I'm one of your biggest fans, but I have to say that being online, I'm still feeling that connection, and it's still so much fun. How's it
Well,
been?
who would have thought, right? So I too, I've been going through a major social withdrawal just like everyone else, because the classes were, not only were they a cooking class, it was inviting the community into my home at least once a month to cook together. And we'd, as you know, we'd all sit down together and just break bread. And that aspect of it, is not there. However, the online classes have been a lot of fun, and it has been a great way to just stay connected, because I think more than anything, we just want to feel connected to others, and cooking in the kitchen, doing it for a cause, or just learning how to make meals for your families now because we have to, is also a good and rewarding feeling. And I think I've loved it. I've loved it.
Well, you're such a social being like me. I'm curious, what have you been doing in this new isolation to occupy yourself?
Well, of course, my Spice Line company has kept me fully occupied. And I have to say, if that wasn't a component here, I think I would have gone crazy, but it's my passion. So I just flipped the switch, and we just, continue to work on my business. I really put a lot of focus into just making my products even better. And just doing a lot of the marketing around that is very, very time consuming. So, Sandra, I have been really busy since the pandemic, which who would have thought, right?
Yeah, well, that's good. And I can't wait to talk about your spices and more on
Yeah.
classes and the genesis of Healthy on You. But first, why don't we get things started? I know that you have a quick and easy recipe. It is 11:10. I think it's time for a cocktail. What do you think?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
It is, yeah. So what are we whipping up this morning?
So we're whipping up a cucumber mint gin and tonic. Okay. And I know it's early, but the cucumber and the mint adds a little bit of a health flavor factor to it. So I think we will be okay.
Okay, I'm buying it. I'm buying it.
Okay, so
how do we
let's
get started?
start. It is very easy, and I chose something very simple this morning because here, I'll lower this a little so you can see my ingredients, but
Okay.
something very simple that we can do and just sip on, and we don't have to be too aggressive. It'll be really nice. We're going to do this way. So what we need is about an inch and a half of cucumber into a glass pour like this. Then we add in about a handful of mint in here, and a lemon wedge, right? So I'm going to make this I'm sorry, a lime. It looks like a lemon. I have Mary Ellen lemons, and they really look limes, and they really look like a lemon. So it's confusing, but they are definitely. Yeah, you've got a lime.
Limes. I have lime limes.
You have limes. Mary Ellen lemon, it's a lime. It's a sweeter lime, okay? So pardon me there. And then we just muddle this together, Sandra. So muddle, muddle, muddle. And I'm going to stand a little to get over it a little so I can put a little force into it. But
what are you muddling with?
I have this cute little thing here. You could use a wooden spoon, but this is a official drink muddler.
Oh,
right? Yeah. So just continue to muddle it until it gets really nice and crushed.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you want to do is pour in 2 ounces of gin once it's all, mixed together really nicely, right? It's kind of like making a mojito with the mint, which I really like doing also. Mm-hmm. But no sugar in this one until you add in a little bit of the tonic. So there we go. Okay. We have that. Then we are going to, I'm going to get some ice in this. So then I'm going to add in my gin. Let's see how yours looks there, Sandra. Looking good. You've got your glass of ice ready.
Yes. I poured my gin in there already.
You put your gin in there. That's fine. I'm going to put my gin in this one.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to give it a little stir. It's okay. It's fine the way you do it. I'm just going to give it a little stir. And then I'm going to strain it into my glass. Just like this. And just sort of press it a little bit to get all of the juices out. There we go. And I'm going to top with tonic water.
Okay.
There we go. Makes it nice and refreshing. And then I have a little garnish here. You can put mint on the top. But to make this fun garnish, we're going to make this fun garnish really quickly, okay?
Okay.
Let me grab a peeler. So you take your cucumber and you just kind of get a nice stretch slice off like this. And then you want to string it onto a toothpick.
Oh.
And that makes it really pretty.
Oh, pretty.
You have a toothpick handy? This is just something I just thought would make it look super cute.
It does look super cute. And it took like all of 5 minutes or less.
Yeah, it doesn't take any time at all.
Yours looks cuter than mine, but okay.
No, yours looks really pretty too. So here we go. Cheers to you.
Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month. That's right.
It's February. Oh, this is refreshing.
Refreshing, exactly. So it's not too strong, and it's got the nice flavors of cucumber and mint.
Right.
Perfect for today.
Forget the Bloody Mary. Go with something like this instead, right?
You still get your fruits and vegetables.
Yes. Yes. Let me ask you, in light of Black History Month, Black-owned businesses have been in the spotlight, especially after last year's Black Lives Matter protest with the killing of George Floyd by the Minnesota police officers. I know that you have been a big proponent and taken a very proactive role in promoting women in business and Black-owned businesses in particular. How's that going?
Well, women-owned businesses and Black-owned businesses are very vulnerable. Small businesses, as you know, last year, the statistics are about 40% of Black-owned businesses closed. I'm not sure the statistic on women-owned businesses, but we're not typically women-owned businesses and Black-owned businesses at the forefront. We're not the businesses the banks call when they have PPE loans and offers and promotions to help us grow. We're usually at the back of that line. And so it's important for all of us women to support women-owned businesses and join organizations that help promote us, because we are each other's best advocate and most reliable advocate, women for women. So with me, with Black-owned businesses, I really felt it in my heart after all of this happened with George Floyd, that we as a community, as business owners, as women entrepreneurs, need to help each other. And so on social media, I really took charge. I went out there and I promoted other businesses. I partnered with other businesses. I tried to rope in people who can be allies for us, and really work with good people who just wanted to fight for our causes, which is just equality and leveling the playing field, so we all can have the opportunities that we've worked so hard to get.
Before Healthy on You became what it is today, did you feel that you received a lot of support as a female, a Black female entrepreneur in your rise to the top?
It's such a good question, but I really feel like I do. My community, I have a good community. I have a strong community. And, being local here, the statistics are where I am in Del Mar, maybe 0.8% Black, point 0.8. So we're not even up there in the numbers. And my clientele, was mostly not people of color and mostly women. And they supported me, Sandra, you included, lifted me up and really dropped me into a place where I feel like I was able to then take advantage of the opportunities that came my way last year.
Yeah. It's interesting. I want to talk about the genesis of Healthy on You, because you you had a completely different career living in New York City, and then the horrific 9/11 attacks. That really was a pivotal moment for you and really changed the course of your life, didn't it?
It did. I think 9/11 for a lot of people was definitely life changing if you were there and in the moment, as I was. And just watching the whole day unfold in front of us, watching people jump from windows as I did, was so traumatic. And after living in New York, I just decided, you know what, I think it's time for me to go. And I would always come out to San Diego. I just wanted to be closer to the ground. And I came out here and I saw the beaches and just the beauty in the nature, and said, I can do this. I can make a life here. And I made steps from that point. It took me about 2 years after to finally make the move. But all during that time, we had PTSD. It was just such a traumatic experience. So coming out here felt very light, felt very, I'm from the islands, I'm Jamaican. So it just felt like I was in a lot of ways coming home, and I felt like I belonged here. And I don't know, it was life changing for sure, a life changing move, career wise and personally.
You mentioned your Jamaican heritage, and really you honed your cooking skills early in life, thanks to your mom, right?
Absolutely. My mom is an amazing cook. And all throughout well, when I was growing up, my mom held a full-time job, sometimes two. And she started her own business when we were a little older. So she always cooked for us. She always made her own spice blends. She's Indo-Caribbean, so she had her own ways of doing her curries, and then she would always make our dinners. And so we participated in the kitchen. My dad does not know how to cook, so my mom literally did everything. My dad cannot even boil an egg, so so my mom took care of everything and all of us, and she just made dinner time the priority. It was eating together, being together, where we share our days and what's happening. And that sense of family and well-being has always been very important and strong. And I imparted that to my own daughter.
And yes, and so speaking of your daughter, I think it's interesting that well, Healthy on You is all about using spices to kind of cut out the fats and unhealthy ingredients that we tend to put in our meals. But really, the spice component of your business, you have your daughter to thank for that, don't you?
I do in a little in a big way, I should say, because when she went off to college, I would always call her and just really, hey, what are you doing today? And I missed her so much. And one day she just said, Mom, you really need to find your passion. You need to figure out what that is. And I was kind of upset at first because I said, you are my passion. Everything I've done up until this point was all about supporting you and being there for you and making sure you had everything you needed. And but I took that to heart, and I really thought about that, gave that thought, and I said, I do have my own passions. I do have my own um, things I want to accomplish in my life. And I was a technology marketer before. I worked with technology companies doing all kinds of in-person and sales and things like that. And I loved it, but it wasn't my passion. And so I decided to become a health coach, and I did not know where that would lead me initially, to be honest. But I said, it's a step in the right direction. I don't know what's going to come next, but I love healthy living. I love cooking healthy. And I started to speak with other women and get advice. And then it clicked to me one day. I woke up and I said, the component I really like about this is teaching people how to eat healthier food and be healthy, and to let them know that eating healthy doesn't mean eating boring food.
No.
We can enjoy our food and still lead a healthy lifestyle without the added fats and all of that.
And for the past 6 years, you have been teaching cooking classes and selling. I have so many of your spices. I think my favorite of them all is the turmeric ginger spice.
The Here Comes the Yum turmeric ginger.
Here
Yes.
comes the yum. Yes. And before I forget, I know Zoelle is there with you. Can she make a little cameo? Can she say hello?
No. Of course she can. Come on over here, Zoelle.
I'm sorry, Zoelle. I didn't warn you beforehand, but gosh, I know that she is just a chip off the block here. And she is very talented as well. And here she is.
Hi, Sandra.
You guys are adorable.
That's my baby. And, she has been working from home because of the pandemic. So she's here beside me working. We work.
Yeah, we have on the other side of this island, her computer's on this side and my computer's on this side. And we sit together like 10 to 12 hours a day.
Wow. You know what, though? There have been some benefits to working from home for sure. Not just the fact
Really?
you can wear your Lululemons all day long, but I mean, you will never have this opportunity to bond like you are ever again.
I tell her this all the time. This is special. This is a very special time in our lives.
Yeah.
It's tragic in a lot of ways for a lot of people. But for Zoelle and I, it's been nice spending time with each other.
Oh, yeah.
And Nick also.
We've never really had, this time
We've
together.
never had
I was
it.
always, in school, working, whatever it was. And so this is really the first time where we have gotten to spend all of our time together all day. And it's been.
Well, and remind me, what do you do, Zoelle?
I work for Ernst & Young. I am an auditor there. So accounting is what I studied. And I love accounting. I love working at EY. It's been a great experience. I'm into my second year with them now. So it's been great so far.
Well, congratulations. And I have a daughter that is about your age as well. And Sam, you and I were talking about raising young women today.
Sure.
I'm just so impressed that women in their 20s have so much more confidence, I think, than I did back in the day, and you realize, I think, earlier on that you have more power than we did, perhaps, when we were that age. Would you agree?
I do agree. I think that I think our girls know the importance of education and being ambitious and what that's all about. But also, I think the technology and that our mothers are just, technology is one thing that I think has really made their lives super more efficient in some ways, right? In a lot of ways, in order for them to get the information they need to move forward. But then I think our mothers, I mean, I had an immigrant mom. She was a little bit more timid and just, she pushed education, both my parents. However, for me, now knowing the lay of the land, I was definitely more supportive and useful for her in her endeavors to get this far. But yeah, I think they still face the same challenges of in the workplace.
Yes.
I don't know if that has eased up quite as much as when I was young and a working professional just starting out. A lot of sexism. I think that's still the case.
That is
But they have more tools to deal with that than certainly I did.
And it's such an exciting year with Kamala Harris as our vice president. I mean, hey, that deserves another cheer, right?
No, cheers.
Cheer to that.
You can go back to work.
I have
Thank you so much
lots of
for your
spreadsheets
cameo.
waiting for me.
I'm
Good to see you, Sandra.
I know that you have a bond to Kamala, and I know that you've met her before. But tell us about that. How did I saw that picture on your social media?
I know, it was such a chance thing. So I met Kamala a few times, and that's because we have a friend in La Jolla who would hold political events. And we would go to her home, and they were very intimate, 10, 20 people. Just come on over. We're having, whatever congressman or attorney general. And at the time that I met her first, she was running for attorney general of California. And she was already attorney general, I believe, of San Francisco. And so it was just a meet and greet. And I really, really liked her. And, just talking to her, she was telling me that she had sisters who looked like me. And so we kind of hit it off right away. And because she's Jamaican, her father's Jamaican and her mother's Indian from India. And my mom, her roots are in southern India. And so we just kind of really had a nice bond. Not to mention, I mean, she was just kick butt kind of gal. And I just really thought she was wonderful. Then I met her again at another fundraiser, and I brought Zoelle with me. And it was Zoelle and I down in Mission Hills. And we saw her speak to a group there about her plans as she was running for the Senate seat. And then I met her another time, which when we took that picture. And so I've met her a few times, and it was nothing like, oh, she's running for vice president. It was just an intimate gathering where we got to know her a little bit more. Her policies on recidivism. Did I say that right?
Yeah, for
just
repeat offenders.
Yeah, repeat offenders. I thought that was one of her big platforms of changing that. And we liked what she had to say. And so, it just was just a natural thing. And here she is. So it was like great to watch her journey from way back then to where she is today. Of course, it was a moment that made me proud and just hopeful for the future for us and for women. So
right. I love how I follow you on social media, on Instagram in particular, and I really love how you put so many just empowering messages. Recently, or maybe it was a bit ago, you had a stack of books that you shared that were really meaningful and inspiring for you, that you were trying, because I know educating people about Black culture is really important to you, and you do it through your art and you do it through food, and kind of showing and telling people, right?
Absolutely. Well, I do it through the best means that works for me and that I have the most expertise on. I think I wrote today, I'm not the expert on Black culture. There's actually people who study that for a living. But what I do represent is the different facets of our diaspora. And of course, my specialty is food and health. and that's what I share. But in the meantime, in between and woven into that, I like to share the things that I'm doing to help with racial justice and social justice. And so, yes, I shared books. Isabella Wilkerson is one of my favorite authors on the historical aspects of Black history. She has a new book, Cast, that I love. And right now, I'm all over Barack Obama's Promised Land.
Me too. I'm actually listening to that on Audible, and it's like
Yeah.
30 hours.
I know, it's the
It's a
longest.
really,
So
but
he,
yeah. But you know what? He has such a soothing, lovely voice that it's
His
very,
voice.
very, yeah, I'm able to do it. I do very long walks every day. I tend to walk 8 miles a day. And
Whew.
so it takes about 3 hours to walk that long far. So Barack Obama has been keeping me company on my walks.
I know. And that voice, there is something about that voice, Sandra, that's so soothing and just makes you feel like it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
That peace, about him, that inner peace really comes out in this book. And I really, it's on my nightstand. So,
Let me ask you about your family. So you have been married to Nick. How long have you guys been married?
we've been married 10 years. This will be our 11th year, actually.
Okay.
So quite a while. We've been together about 16, 17 years now. So,
So,
yeah.
so you were in an interracial marriage. What
Yeah.
is that like in 2021?
Wow. Well, you know what? It's no different than it was in 2020 or 2010.
Uh,
It's wonderful because here I am, right? And I'm a product of an interracial relationship. I started out that way. And so being with someone of a different culture was never something foreign to me. We always just looked at each other for who we are. And, but Nick and I, we're in a fight together, and I think we together, we're a force because we defy so many odds. We have an age gap, and then our different races. It's like a double whammy, and it's good to be, for his grandchildren to see me woven into their lives is really a beautiful thing that goes without even thinking. There's no thought into it. It's just, there's Oma, but Oma comes with all of this unique background that they are probably just not exposed to elsewhere. So it's very interesting, our relationship. Of course, we are on the same page. He's a tireless fighter for social justice. We've always been politically active together. So we share a lot of interesting things. He recently wrote a song about Barack Obama called Freedom's Bell that he's going to be releasing. So it's things that really reach out across across races and just he's always been that way, and it's just been it fills my heart, actually, is what it is, and makes me know that he cares. He sees me for who I am and cares.
Well, you guys are a beautiful couple. In fact, I think right before the shutdown in March, we went out to dinner with both of you. And
That's
like a
right.
week later, the world changed. I mean, that I
In
remember.
a matter of weeks, right?
Gosh, yes.
In a matter of weeks, it was so different. It was, I was looking through some of my cooking class photos, and I could not believe that we were, early March, we had a cooking class here. And
Going on a
it
year.
was a nice group of people, and we had a blast. But yeah, we weren't shut down, and we didn't know the severity. And
Well, let's hope that by the end of this year, 2021, that there's some semblance of normalcy. Just a
yes.
couple of quick questions for you.
Sure.
Your advice to other women who are entrepreneurs, starting a business, maybe deciding to pivot in this changing time to follow their passion. What is your advice for success or perseverance or what?
You know what? I always steal from Nike on this, and it is just do it. Because I doubted myself from here to there. But once I just made the first step, whether, for me, that was get a URL, go buy that URL and think about what you want to put on that page. Start that Instagram account with your passion and see where it leads. It's funny that we as women, we second guess and can I do this? And a lot of that is because we might not have the network that we need, or we might not have a mentor that is in the space. But I say go for it. Those things will come, and you just have to be ready for that opportunity, and when that presents itself, and then you'll be ready. But it's scary. I'm going to be the first one to say that, but just talking to other people, trying to find the right mentor. But first of all, make that decision tomorrow, not, or whenever, just go ahead and do it. And you will be surprised that everything will come your way. And it won't be easy, but I could have still been sitting there like, oh, I really think I wanted to teach cooking classes, but I didn't know how. A lot of on the job learning.
Just do it.
Just do it is my takeaway and my answer for that.
My final question for you, Sam, what is your biggest lesson that you've learned in the past year?
I think be patient, meet people where they are. For me, that was on Zoom. That is where you are. That is where I'm going to be. And I mean, it's so simple, but this word pivot and adapt, we've all, big business, small business, we've had to do that to get ahead and stay relevant. And it's by meeting people where they are and taking the time to do that, being a little more kind, being generous. With your skills and your business, because people are hurting and people need that connection. So that's sort of my biggest lesson, is to just meet people where they are.
Well, Sam, you are so inspiring, and I'm looking forward to your next cooking class.
Yeah, me too.
All the information on how to connect with you and sign up for your newsletter. And you can buy the spices at all kinds of stores in Southern California, including here in San Diego, Jimbo's, and where else?
Seaside Market, Ocean Beach Co-op. Online is a good way also. And then I'm also in stores from Santa Barbara straight on down. So there's a lot going on out there.
Well,
and you can.
It's such a great thing that you're doing. And it's so inspiring to talk to somebody who has succeeded so well following their passion. So thank you for sharing with us today.
Thank you, Sandra. I really appreciate you wanting to talk to me. I think it's I feel like I've come a long way, but there's still further to go.
Here's to great girlfriends. Click.